Hello, dear friends. There are too many revelations to think this could all be a fantasy. Opinion piece, unstoppable, digital battle, new economy, Falcon operation, arresting bigwigs, transfer of power, the silence is over, media distractions, Soul Tribe meetings, operations continue, escape routes closed, the system is collapsing, media silence out of fear, rise of sovereign finance, operating system change, full screen cyber warfare. Let's start. All reports agree that the transformation of the global financial system is unstoppable, taking place stealthily and has economic, political, social, and even spiritual implications worldwide. The wicked continue to try to delay disclosure, activate their security mechanisms, and hide the depth of their network. But nothing will stop the storm now. According to Ethan White of K-Stellar, this is a full-scale global operation as Starlink tracks every escape attempt and secret raids affecting 40 countries occur with courts-martial in continuous operation. Beginning July 16, 2025, coordinated global incursions are in full swing. A global coalition is capturing in real time the mind controllers hidden behind royal titles, tech empires, and a supposed service to the public. The takedown of the global cabal is active, kinetic, and relentless. What began years ago with classified reports and underground courts-martial has now escalated into nighttime raids, drone strikes, explosions deep underground, and the full-spectrum cyber warfare. The silence was strategic. Now it's over. These aren't the first raids. It's not the beginning. It's the continuation of a cleansing. The current wave of raids, which began in mid-July, follows a series of operations in dark sites that began in 2023 and a complete media censorship. What makes this moment different is its magnitude. What was once hidden and surgical is now global and relentless. The dark side is being struck again and again, and the operations continue day and night. This isn't law enforcement, it's a war of destruction. Examples. In Düsseldorf, Germany, a private biotechnology research center was seized after synthetic blood facilities and quantum control laboratories were discovered. In Switzerland, major seizures took place in Lucerne and near Lake Geneva, where elite banking families had moved their unregistered vaults since 2021. Not only foreign currency was seized, but also biological assets, genetic experiments intended for organ harvesting. Rome is in a state of alarm. Columns entered Vatican City on July 14th. Underground vaults beneath Castel Sant'Angelo were forced open. Documents were burnt. Blood evidence, ritual chambers, 400-year-old archives that were never meant to be read are now in safekeeping. Paris, France, the supposed city of light, has become a battlefield of exposed darkness. Tunnels beneath the Louvre and the catacombs were flooded, and biological laboratories linked to DNA experimentation were discovered, along with shipping containers marked with copyright symbols. In Canada, Trudeau's former facilities in Vancouver and Montreal are no longer civilian property. Canadian police confirmed seizure warrants targeting dark side media executives, global banking agents, and multiple locations used to transport bioengineering agents in coordination with CCP handlers. Underground bases are being destroyed in Norway, New Zealand, Brazil, and South Africa. These facilities are typically equipped with experimental propulsion vessels, genetic cloning tanks, and cryptostasis chambers, and have been used for decades to conceal post-human science and child trafficking for ritual, biological, or transhumanist exploitation. In Antarctica, a fortified base originally built by the Nazis in New Swabia or Queen Maud Land and expanded by corporate interests was taken over by a joint task force under the direct surveillance of Starlink. Quantum cloaking fields were disabled using electromagnetic pulse discharges. This facility coordinated encrypted communications used by elite networks to manage underground logistics and intelligence operations on every continent. Satellite imagery has since been erased by compromised agencies, but multiple orbital satellites Starlink recorded this operation. Arrests. As of July 16, 2025, internal coalition sources have confirmed more than 112 high-level arrests. These are not small fish. They are the godfathers of the Old World Order. Several Hollywood financiers linked to Epstein are being held in undisclosed locations. A World Bank executive arrested in the Cayman Islands was found with blackmail files involving UN leaders and hundreds of millions in stolen health aid. A Silicon Valley visionary intercepted mid-flight en route to Taiwan was attempting to migrate artificial intelligence operations to private neural network clusters hidden inside a former research base. A former European Prime Minister was caught on a private train fleeing to the Caucasus Mountains with Vatican-linked gold bars and biometric identification printers. Operations. According to Valiant Tor, large-scale operations have been launched against the global elite starting July 14, 2025. What began as covert incursions has escalated into a strategic war on land, sea, cyberspace, and the financial system. This is not a drill. It is the controlled demolition of the dark side, and the activation of the quantum financial system has reached a critical stage. The Texas floods were not a natural disaster. Their goal was to erase digital files linked to dark side banking nodes operating in safe houses throughout Texas, but they failed. Florida was the next location, but this time the QFS-linked weather command is ready. The storm will shift, and the traitors will be expelled. White hat cyber teams have taken control of IMF systems. Accounts used for blackmail payments, clandestine NGO funding, and proxy wars have been frozen. ECB nodes are being taken down. The Space Force is rerouting global transfers through the QFS, a clean system that bypasses SWIFT banks and corruption. The financial operating system is being replaced. Operations teams are using QFS trade routes to identify the financial nodes that feed the beast: shell foundations, think tanks, embassies, and central banks intermediaries. They are not just monitoring transactions, they are seizing entire payment corridors. The media silence isn't denial, it's fear. Digital battle. Elon Musk isn't just building rockets, he's building a digital battlefield. Starlink nodes are being used to cut off elite communications and track hidden assets. His cryptocurrency exchange-traded fund is a front, designed to fund QFS-linked technology without DAC-side oversight. Musk is the digital architect of the new economy. Every satellite launched since July 4th is part of this operation, not for the moon, but for the kill switch. Meanwhile, Epstein's firewall is being breached. Internal cyber forces have decrypted previously frozen files, and yet the QFS stands silent and immutable. Every transfer is backed by gold, every false flag is tracked, and every ghost account is exposed. Media distractions are a theater of war. Generals, diplomats, and sovereign leaders are meeting behind closed doors to finalize the transfers. Nations have already joined the QFS. The liquidation of the IMF is looming. Global liquidity is changing, and digital chains are being broken. This is the end of central banking and the rise of sovereign finance. This is how war ends. Sweep. According to Space Force member Pascal Nayati, Hawk sweep operation began with 42 assets extracted from globalist safe zones in just 72 hours, as units assault the last strongholds. Precision operations are being carried out around the world, while the media acts as if nothing has changed. Elite forces are destroying the last functioning cells of the globalist financial cabal under the codename Operation Hawk Sweep. Between July 12th and 15th, coordinated raids were carried out in Melbourne, Nairobi, Liechtenstein, and Seattle. Real-time data from QFS satellite nodes and the Vault 19 surveillance network was used. All assets are now under coalition control, including synthetic currency arrays, biometric access devices, and encrypted layers. Phase 7A was a contingency protocol that was activated on July 15th. Insiders claim this is a critical phase that allows for the international application of the QFS infrastructure in 42 countries, the destruction of fiduciary institutions through algorithmic shutdowns, and the suspension of diplomatic immunity for elite actors under sealed indictments. This explains why several EU central bankers abruptly resigned, and why political leaders in Canada, Australia, and France are grappling with alleged health crisis. The system is collapsing. Deployment. Kerry Cassidy confirms that the classified GISARA program is in full deployment and 209 global factions are synchronized. Debt cancellation protocols are being finalized. 47 cabal-linked banks have been shut down. Behind the scenes, gold transfers, asset confiscation, and a complete economic reset. The QFS is now a digital weapon. $780 billion confiscated and redistributed. Since April 1st, over $780 billion in dirty funds from the plot have been confiscated. The QFS tracks every transaction in 42 countries. Dark-side corporations are disappearing overnight. Funds are being redirected to GISARA medical support centers and forgiveness programs. The White Hats have already implemented Project Odin, which took control of taxes paid to the cabal since 1918, while activating the new gold-backed quantum financial system that will return the money to the people. Zero taxes. According to Media Grid, the Internal Revenue Service is crumbling. Its Chief Information Officer, Rajiv Uppal, suddenly resigned just before tax day, while the old tax regime is being dismantled. This is not a reform, but a controlled demolition of the tax site's ATM. This is not an accident, but a surgical operation. The media is silent. Politicians pretend everything is a business as usual, but panic is spreading behind closed doors like wildfire. The IRS is not yet downsizing, it is being dismantled. Breaking news. Trump says Epstein files are a hoax, according to Mike Adams. Elon Musk criticizes Trump. In quotes, release the Epstein files and show us they are a hoax. Trump believes in a Russian victory against Ukraine, according to Sorjafal. 7.2 magnitude earthquake, 87 kilometers south of Sandpoint, Alaska. According to Sierra, Soul Tribe reunions are taking place around the world. We are finally reunited after separate lifetimes. Due to missionary work in multiple dimensions and the star systems, this is our time. We have worked hard for these meetings. Brazil has held a very successful BRICS summit. The Rio summit reaffirmed the growing political weight of the BRICS and their ambition to become a key force in shaping the emerging multipolar order. A total of 126 commitments were adopted, covering crucial areas such as global governance reform, the restructuring of international financial institutions, healthcare, weather initiatives, artificial intelligence, and development. China has just tested an AI-controlled drone that steers clouds to induce rain over drought-stricken farmland. The drone uses microwave pulses and is guided by atmospheric data transmitted in real time from ground-based and satellite sensors. This aerial platform emits tuned energy waves that stimulate the coalescence of water vapor clumps. It does not introduce foreign particles. Instead, it stimulates existing clouds to reach saturation. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.